All right, Kit. So, I guess the first question I have for you, if you're ready, so what was your first experience with any martial art? How did you even get into this journey?
Well, let's see. I would have been six, I think, 6 or 7, and we moved to Laughlin, Nevada, which is
Okay.
a tiny little town, river town on the border of Nevada and Arizona. And there was a guy there teaching Kenpo, and
Mm.
we were like a trailer family,
Yep.
you know.
Kempo karate, what Chuck was into.
Yeah, and Hawaiian Kenpo. So it's the exact same thing that Chuck was into. Uh,
Okay.
Ed Parker's Kenpo,
Mm.
and the bus driver, my bus driver was the Kenpo teacher. And, since he saw okay, well, I'm a poor kid and I can't really afford to go to classes. And so he just kind of told me to come along, and I just stayed on the bus after school and went to Kenpo class.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. What's funny is we were doing class in like a ballroom in the Riverside Hotel and Casino.
Wow.
Like that's how it was. It was it's small town casino town. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's a lot of space though to practice. The ballroom and stuff like that. I remember I started with Jukido. It's like a form of judo and karate, traditional martial arts. And we were learning in a park, on grass,
Right. Right.
So it's like wherever you could learn and train.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I went there in the garage.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how it was back in the day though.
Absolutely. Until it got more popular. And, and by more popular, I mean really kind of more accepted. Because way back in the day, it was like if you were doing martial arts,
yep,
it was like, what, shouldn't you be doing football?
Yes.
Baseball?
Yep.
Almost even a little frowned on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. People will look at you like you're some kind of a ruffian or some weird outcast or something. It was really weird.
I remember there were 2 or 3 kids in my school that did it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Times have changed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I remember even with mixed martial arts, in 2000 and stuff, it was popular to me. I was into Pride, all that stuff, Pancrase. And I would talk about it at work and guys would be like, who? Who's Fedor? Who's it was kind of strange, but
about it because nobody knew shit.
Yes. That was the plus. Yeah. But so Kit, were you naturally gifted, or did you have to work really hard to be good at martial arts?
So I never really fell into the groove of traditional martial arts. So like I said, I was doing Kenpo.
Mm-hmm.
So I did Ed Parker's tournament 3 times. And 3 times I got disqualified from the kumite.
Yep.
Sparring.
Right?
Yeah. I never wanted to do forms. I never wanted to do, any of that stuff. I did kind of want to do weapons,
Mm-hmm.
but do forms to do weapons. So, I didn't really get into that stuff so much. I just wanted to fight. I just wanted to actually do the stuff that we're learning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think I was just too young. I was too young to figure it out for myself is what it was. Because I didn't, I didn't have a bunch of support from, parents or, anybody else. So I was figuring out how to do the tournament on my own. And I think I never figured out the rules because I just kept getting disqualified for, not even for the first time was because I was punching people and people.
Yeah.
And the second time I learned about focus shots. Focus shots. So I learned about focus shots, and then I got disqualified for coming too close on shots.
Mm-hmm.
And the third year, I was I just got upset at a dude that was scoring points for not touching me, and I kicked him in the throat. You know, I mean, I was trying to face, but sidekick, and then of course got disqualified then. So I just never really got in the groove of traditional, you know, those traditional tournament martial arts. Mm-hmm. And then, I found wrestling, which is a martial art.
Absolutely, yep.
And fell in love with wrestling because you're
super tough.
You're actually applying what you're learning, and it was fun. And so I wrestled for like 8 years, and then found Muay Thai. And then once I found Muay Thai, and which is funny because I was in wrestling, you don't really halfway do wrestling or do wrestling as a hobby, or, you know, oh, that's just my after school sport or whatever. Like everybody that wrestles. That's what they do. They're wrestlers. They might play football because there's no other wrestling season during football season, and it keeps them in shape.
Yep.
I mean, but they're always going to go back to wrestling, and then after folk style season is freestyle and Greco season. You know, so like when you're a wrestler, you're a wrestler. That's all you do.
Yep.
But then I found, because for something to keep in shape, after freestyle season ended, and I found Muay Thai, and I was just instantly better at Muay Thai than I ever was at wrestling.
So in your mind, it just clicked. You're like, this is it.
It just totally made sense. Absolutely, completely made sense. And I go. I actually I took state. I won state as a freshman. I won state as a sophomore. And I took second in CIF as a junior in California State, and then didn't wrestle my senior year.
That's crazy. And, you know, kid, it's like you're usually really, really good at the things you love. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a 4-time Muay Thai world champ, right?
Yeah. That's kind of a thing of contention with me lately, because back when I was winning belts and you won a belt, that was your 1-time world champion, right? If you got another belt, then you're a 2-time world champion. Or if you lost that belt and got it back, then you're a 2-time world champion. But all these dipshits are putting on like, I'm a 17-time world champion because won 1 belt and defended it 17 times. I don't know when that change happened, but I call bullshit. And I mean, if that's the case, then I'd be like a 14-time world champion or something like that. I got 4 world title belts. It's 4.
Yeah, they do that with MMA too. When they just, you know, talk about the champions, they say they're a 7-time champ or 8-time champ because they're defending. And I agree with you. It's kind of like a little weird.
Yeah, you're just still the champ. You're the champ. You're still the champ. That's it. You held your title for this long, which is awesome. You know, that's a different accolade, though. It's not, you didn't get another title. You didn't win the title again.
It's not like you went to another weight class or something, or you lost it and got it back.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the real way. That's you know, you're the champion again.
Exactly.
So, but kid, so, you know, diving a little bit into like your mindset and stuff, like how did you personally deal with like anxiety or any fears going into like a fight? Did you feel any anxiety?
Oh, for sure. I didn't, not until I remember the exact moment when I realized that I was actually getting anxious and a little bit scared. And it was because I was fighting for a promotion, and I watched they did like a little local commercial. And, and they were like, undefeated, 10-0, kick coat, blah, blah. And I was like, oh shit, yeah. And then I was like, oh damn, that could go. Like, everybody expects me to win now. Right? So then it was like, oh man. So then literally all of the sudden, in seconds, I had that thought, and then pressure crept in. Yeah, and then it was like, oh man, I can't. I'll tell you what though, people or fighters in general, real fighters. We'll say real fighters, because there's plenty of people that are fighting that are not fighters. You're not afraid of pain. You're not afraid of getting hurt. You're not afraid of any. You're afraid of looking stupid
and losing, right?
Yeah, because losing, you look stupid. You went out there. I'm the biggest, baddest dude, and you get your ass handed to you. You look stupid. You go out there and you get hit with something retarded. You look stupid.
Yeah.
Go out there and you do something stupid. That stuff sticks with you.
Yeah.
So the only thing you're really afraid of is looking stupid. And man, I was afraid of losing that. I was afraid of, oh man, after that, like, you don't get to be called undefeated anymore. That's a big, I thought it was a big deal. It's totally not a big deal. Now that I'm older and I'm more seasoned, the big deal is having good fights. The big deal is performing your best. The big deal, fighting, actually fighting, real fighting, not holding on to somebody or whatever, actually fighting to the end, and having an exciting fight. That's what's the big deal. That's why those guys in Pride, like, those guys have what we would consider terrible records. These guys like Ricardo Arona and all those giants from Pride, right? Those guys were like, oh, I'm 15-8. But it didn't matter because they were in gnarly fights. It didn't matter what the record was. What mattered is you're a fighter that I want to watch.
Absolutely agree. And people get hung up on records, like, especially like some of these fans. It's crazy. Like, they'll trash a fighter, like you described, for having, whatever, like 15 wins, 8 losses. But it's like, you're not taking into account who they fought, how they performed, if they put things on the line in the fight. It's like, if you put yourself out there and you try to go for a finish, you open yourself up to be finished, So
absolutely, there's risks that you take. There's nothing worse than watching a safe fighter. And you have to maintain a modicum of safety. I want to get hit. I want to hit and not get hit. Of course, I don't like to get hit at all. but sometimes you got to throw something out there that might not work out, but if it pays off big. And that's an exciting fight. Otherwise, you're just Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, coasting. Exactly. It's crazy. I get really defensive with fighters too. Like, as you see, like, I'm sure you've noticed it, but a lot of the MMA community, like, the fans are like really toxic, and that's like why fighters don't even interact with them anymore. Yeah,
since the beginning, fight fans are the worst and the best, because I think it's because fighting is so visceral, it's so emotional to people, right? Dude, that's a physical confrontation.
Primal.
Right? You're putting your hands on somebody else, right? Very personal thing. A very visceral, personal, emotional thing. And so, that bleeds off into the fans. The fans understand that. And so they come at you with all that emotion.
Yeah. But, it pisses me off, Kid, because, like, most of the people that, I would say probably all the people that talk like that probably never trained, never fought. It's like they have no idea what it takes to, like, even train at a reputable, like, real gym and like do that for like 2 months. They'll quit from just training, let alone like fight. Walking down that ramp, people will like shit their pants. And it's like, when a guy loses, they'll get on their page and talk a bunch of shit to them. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, it drives me nuts. But
fighter got in there in front of tens, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. You got in there and every eyeball was looking at you and another dude. And that was it. Dude, there's people that can't get up in front of a classroom and say, hi, my name is Tom. And we're getting out there in front of millions of people just looking at us.
Yep.
You know, displaying our wares.
Yep. And everything's on your back, the win or loss. You know, it's like such high pressure. Like these people don't understand. And it's like I said, like, you know, this 99% of those people that talk like that, they have like zero background in anything. And it's like, it's absurd.
Yeah. And it used to be, you could just say that. You could just say that. Oh, yeah, well, you know, at least this guy's getting in there. You're just sitting at home on your computer.
Yep.
and that used to be enough to kind of shut them down, but it's not anymore. Now it's like, you know, whatever. I have a voice too. I'm a fan. You're supposed to, you know, please the fans. That's your job. You're an entertainer. Yeah. You should be an entertainer. I mean, now I'll say this. As far as the people will say, like, for the purity of the sport, right? Entertainment isn't a factor. You should be fighting for the win. However, you just because there are rules, you can, a fighter can work the rules. Because there are rules, you can manipulate rules. Now, if it was a fight, an actual fight where two dudes meet in the jungle and one of those dudes is eaten and the other one is getting eaten.
Yep.
Right. Well, then, yeah, in that case, then you do whatever it is that you have to do to survive. Yep. However, if you're fighting in a highly regulated event, then and you're just working the rule set to get a win, I mean, you're not really being entertaining. Yeah. And I really do think that from the beginning of this sport, it is entertainment. Without you don't get paid. Right? Now that was something like, for instance, like Nick Diaz hated that. Hated it. Hated the entertainment part. And what's awesome about that is that he was like the most entertaining dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Just his personality.
Yeah, because he was just so genuine.
Absolutely. Right? Yep.
Now Nathan gets the entertainment part about it, but also understands that shit, if I'm just me, people like that. Yep. People like that genuine personality, that realism, that actual real person. Like the Colby Covington, you know, WWE shit, which is entertaining, but it's kind of train wreck entertaining. Yes. You know?
Yeah. And you could, you know, if you have half a brain, you could spot like what's fabricated, you know, what's like a role and who's like real, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Even like Masvidal. Right? That dude, 90% of the time is just a real dude. A real dude. But lately he's been kind of trying to play the entertaining part a little bit.
The angle, yep.
Which is mostly just funny. Mostly funny, you know, and he's mostly doing it just to take the piss out of other people. Yeah. You know? But like that dude, he's just a real dude. And that's why he's where he's at. Because people,
it like resonates with them.
Society rewards disingenuousness. It rewards you for being inauthentic, right? And so the vast majority of people are inauthentic. When you see somebody that's being genuine and authentic, that's who you want to be. Yep. That's who you want to be as a person. You don't want to keep up these appearances that you always have to do just to fit into the society, when these guys over here are just being them. Yeah. And people love that. Now, that's not enough to get them to do it, but they at least get to be a part of it through you.
Yeah. That's why people love fighters like Nick and Nate Diaz, and like Masvidal's getting a lot of buzz because, like you described, it just like rings a bell in people.
And that's why people like Henry Cejudo.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Kit, changing gears a little bit. So what's the greatest moment like in your professional fighting career? Was it like a win over someone? Was it one of the championships?
Man, that's a really good question. And I can't believe that I haven't thought of it before. I would say, oh, man, the Alex Gong fight was a big one for me because, you know, I took it on a week's notice. It was 2 weight classes above mine. I actually weighed in light. I weighed in at like 148 pounds or 149 pounds, something like that. And Alex Gong weighed in at, you remember Alex Gong? Alex F14 Gong from Fairtex. Really good fighter. And he weighed in at 158. Right? He was a guy. And I was normally 140 or 147 guy. And so he weighed in at 58, and the commission wouldn't let us fight because you have to be within 8 pounds of each other. Yep. So my coach took me upstairs to the buffet. It was the MGM.
Stuffed you up?
Stuffed me up.
Oh my God.
You remember Jenko jeans?
Yes.
Baggy stovepipe leg jeans? Yeah, I had those on. I'm sorry. And like we stuffed the pockets.
Holy shit.
And old school cell phones and stuff like that for me to weigh in.
That's hilarious.
153 or something like that. And so we were able to fight.
That's crazy.
But that fight was I don't know if it was it was the greatest moment, but it was a turning point, I guess. It was like a coming out party, more or less. It was, until then, I think I was 12-0 at the time or something like that. But until then, I'd only fought out of the country. I'd only fought in Asia and South America and Europe. And so this was my first fight, my first big fight in America. And so, you know, it was on ESPN and all that stuff. So this was kind of like showing me to the United States for the first time. And so that was a big thing. And then plus the commentators the whole time were like, this new guy is not quite as polished as the champ over here. And, you know, they just talked shit on me for the whole fight until halfway through round 4. Now I'd won all the first 3 rounds. And then in round 4, Alex came out.
Guns blazing.
So he came out dropping bombs, and, you know, I stayed there with him and outbombed him. And that's when the commentators were like, I don't know. This guy's doing pretty good. Yeah. So it was kind of like take that. Yep. That was definitely a good moment.
That's awesome.
But then there was my IPMTO fight, I get people talk shit on me on the internet for this all the time, but most people don't know that World Muay Thai Council is the big one. That's the biggest Muay Thai belt that you can get, is the WMC belt. That belt used to be called the WMTC belt, World Muay Thai Council. And it was owned by like 2 brothers. Shut up, dude. I'm doing a podcast. That's cool. So the brothers split up, and which happens all the time in Thailand. Like the owner of Windy Gloves, or the owners of Windy Gloves, split to make Twins and Windy, which are the 2 biggest brands in Thailand. So the owners of the WMTC split up, and they made the WMC, still World Muay Thai Council, and the IPMTO, which is the International Professional Muay Thai Organization. right? And so the champions split, right? So I fought for the IPMTO belt right after that in Thailand, and I fought a guy named Dan Sut Ki, Thai guy, and I got trichinosis.
Oh.
So I got to Thailand, and usually in Thailand, hold on, I'm gonna adjust this for a minute so it doesn't fall down. There we go.
Do you get that from water kit? Pork.
Yeah, and I didn't even try to. I have a thing. I don't eat pork in other countries.
Yeah.
It's just there's too much shit that could go wrong.
Right.
And so I lived in Thailand for years. I lived in Thailand for a 19-month stint. I lived in Thailand for a bunch of 3-month stints and never got sick. Not even a little bit. I'm staying at a 5-star hotel for this fight for the title. Yep. We're there for probably 4 or 5 days before this happened. And the buffet in the super nice hotel, in the breakfast buffet, I grabbed some chicken sausages, took a bite of one of them, and was like, oh, that's not chicken. Put it to the side. Later that day, freezing. Okay, I believe this was summertime in Thailand, which means 100 degrees every day. Just flat. 100 degrees, 85% humidity.
Humidity.
Right? So in wintertime is basically 100 degrees, 100% humidity. That's the only nothing changed. So later that night, we're getting done with training, and I was dragging during training. And then we're in the van on the way home, and I'm freezing cold. I'm chills. I can't get warm and freezing. So get back to the hotel, and Will Sriapai is another Thai boxer. He was fighting on the card in Thailand, and he was like, man, you should jump in the bath, right? Take a hot bath. And I was like, yeah, cool. So run the bath, jump in the bath, burning hot bath, and I still have chills under the water.
Shit.
Like, oh man, something's wrong.
Damn.
We call our guys, and they take me to the poor people's hospital. And because there are 2 different hospitals there. Right?
Yeah.
So I go to the poor people's hospital, and I've turned out I got trichinosis, which is a worm, by the way. Kind of worm in your intestines.
Just a parasite, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh.
So basically, I apologize to the viewers, but basically I shat myself every 15 minutes for 4 days.
Fuck.
Now that means you don't get to sleep. You start falling asleep, and then when you really gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta sprint for a toilet right now. Every 15 minutes. Even when there was nothing left.
Oh, God, it's terrible.
When there was nothing left. And so I did that for 4 days. The good thing is I lost 16 pounds.
That was your weight cut.
So,
oh my God.
So it's weigh-in day. I'm still in the hospital, right? My buddies come and get me from the hospital. I leave the hospital. They're pissed. They're irate that I left the hospital. I go and I weigh in, right? Because I'm like, I guess, what am I going to do? I've been training for this world title fight for 3 months.
Yeah.
So I weigh in. I weighed in fine, like right on the money. Right back to the hospital.
Holy shit.
Yeah, right back to the hospital. Got another IV. It was getting a little bit better. I wasn't totally better, but it was getting a little bit better. Then the day, so I stayed that night in the hospital. The next day, Will grabbed my stuff from the hotel room, and I left the hospital, jumped in a tuk-tuk, headed to the venue. And by the time I got to the venue, it was like time for me to warm up. Right? So I get to the venue, I put all my gear on, I get my hands wrapped. And as soon as I get my hands wrapped, they're like, okay, come on. And they staged me in the crowd. right? I didn't get a warm up or anything.
Shit. So you were cold? Oh my God.
For a world title fight in Thailand. So they stage me in the crowd so that they can be like, oh, where, you know, they take the camera and the spotlights and stuff, and they're like, oh, next up is Kit Cope. Where's Kit Cope? Where's Kit? Actually, it was Nufa is my Thai name. Guy. So they're like, well, you know, where is he? Where is he? And then boom, the spotlight hits me, and I stand up on the chairs, and I in Thai I say, I have arrived, right? Just to make a big show. And I go down there, and like the whole time I'm like, oh man, I really got to shit. Oh, here we go. I go down there smiling, high-fiving and everything. And then we get into the fight, and Densuit Kid he had this drag kick, this skipping roundhouse that I just couldn't get away from. Yeah. And so he just kept hitting me with it. And so it was let's see, I think it was the second round or something like that. I was like, man, I got to get out of here. Like, I'm gonna shit all over this thing.
Oh my God.
So bad. So it's getting toward the end of the round. I think it's the second round. And I throw this massive overhand and big step with it, and then throw a giant leg kick and got right across the front of both of his legs. And that was it. So got the knockout, got the world title. Then, oh man, the most beautiful belt. Oh, so pretty. That's amazing. Pounded and everything is, it's gorgeous. So I win. They raise my hand, and I'm going to get out of the ring, and they're like, "Wait, gotta wait for your title." Like, cool. So I'm just like easy, and they put the title around. They give me like a little interview and stuff. So then, yeah, I'm gonna say this is probably the best fight ever.
Are you puckering up the whole time? Like,
I'm clinching hard. Dude, there's no way in a world.
Oh my God.
Get everywhere in front of all these people. Right? So,
oh my God.
I'm walking the ring. Everybody's still cheering and everything. I'm walking from the ring back into the back room. And the deputy prime minister of Thailand is sitting up on like a stage. Up on a stage. In like a fucking throne. And then, and so I'm walking by, and you know, and I give him the why, and you know, and thank him and everything. And he says, and he goes like this, which in every other country, this means come here, except for in our country, right? So like, no, come. So I hop up on the stage, and I walk on over, and I get on my knees in front of him, because that's what you do. Yeah. And he goes, no, come up here. And he directs me to the chair next to him. So I get up on the chair, and you know, he's talking to me in like half Thai, half English. And I'm talking to him half Thai, half English. And we're talking for about 2 or 3 minutes. And he says, I understand in English. I understand you might have to use the restroom. And I was like, yes, sir. Yes, I do. And he goes, okay, I'll let you go now. Wow. Okay. Thanks. So I was.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
How did he get wind of that though? Did you like speak of it and be like, I gotta run, I gotta use the bathroom?
Oh no. It was apparently very well known that I came from the hospital to the fight.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's crazy. You earned that belt. Hey, fighters fight, right, Kit?
Oh, absolutely. And guess what? This is the shitty part about that fight. So it's the next day. We actually left the next day, which isn't typical for Thailand. Usually hang around for a week or two, but you know, been in the hospital. So we actually go to leave the next day. They came and found me in the airport and told me I had to give the belt back. What? And I was like, what do you mean? I won the belt. I won the title. Yes. You have the title. You have the title. If you want to take the belt home with you, you have to pay. It was like $2,600.
What?
I'm pretty sure because it's Thailand, I'm pretty sure I made like $700 for the fight.
What the heck?
But I had to buy the belt to bring it home to Thailand.
Oh my God.
Thailand. And so I had to leave the belt.
Damn, that's crazy.
All I have is pictures like in my hotel room.
Oh man. And it was like one of the prettiest belts you've seen.
It's so pretty. I'll shoot you. So good.
I would love to see it. That's great. That's awesome. But the you not being able to take it is not awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible. Kid, I only have a couple of more questions for you. You've been so gracious with your time. Really appreciate it. I'm loving the stories that you're telling. I'm cracking up over here. So kid, like for the fans, was there anything as a kid that like you dreamt of being, when you grew up, like other than a fighter, anything crazy?
You know what? I really wanted to be, so most of my life I wanted to be a pilot.
Like that's pretty cool.
Fighter jet pilot, not like a American Airlines pilot. Yep. So I wanted a combat pilot. So when I was through most of my high school, I was taking all the right classes. I had my 2 congressional recommendations. I was getting ready to go to the academy. Like I was taking DS classes, graduated with like a 4.2 weighted. So like I was
there
on my way. Then Backdraft came out. Backdraft.
Great movie, yeah. De Niro, the firefighter movie.
I totally have to be a firefighter.
Yeah.
So I ditched all that to become a firefighter. I actually was a firefighter. And it was the boring job I've ever had in my entire life.
No.
Most boring one, but so boring. Dude, there's no fires anymore. Especially if you're not in like New York or Chicago or something like that. Every building has fire prevention stuff, and then even if you do happen upon, an older building or a house or something like that doesn't, and it's burning, you don't go in. You're not allowed to go in. Down and drown. That's it. And that in my tenure, I think I lasted 8 months out of the academy, and I was just so bored from rehabbing tools that haven't been used, washing the engine, lifting weights.
Oh man,
like it was so boring. And then I quit for Muay Thai.
That's crazy because most of the public has this like idea that firefighters are like, it's this exciting. You're always on the run.
I will tell you right now, in front of everybody, firefighters are frat boys, right? And they know it. Come on. I mean, they'll put their ass on the line when it's necessary, but they're friends. By and large, police are the heroes. Police do all the hero shit. That's just the truth. Yep. I mean, former public servant.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know if we want to dive into the whole police situation. I find it, I'll just touch on something. Defund the police, stupidest thing ever. Don't agree with it. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't know if you want to dive into this, but like, it's a very dangerous job.
Everybody knows it's targeted. The only reason that all of the dipshits are pushing that is because they want a socialist anarchy state. They want to be given free shit from the government and to govern their own shit. That you can't. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, right.
Look at. I mean, Compton's a whole lot better now, but like late 80s, early 90s Compton, when police didn't go in there and they governed themselves, and lots of people just died all the time. Yeah, you can't self-police, especially now, nowadays, when they're just not making men anymore, right? Like, a man is not determined by age, right? Like you're a man, or you're just like a boy guy, a guy dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And there's lots of guy dudes out there. Very few men anymore. So who's going to do the policing? The little Antifa bitches?
Yeah.
Right? Who's going to police our world?
We need the police.
Absolutely.
Bottom line, it's the stupidest notion to think that we don't need cops or the police. Like what are these people thinking? It's just absurd.
Well, the people that are crying to defund the police, you've seen in the last few days, it's going wrong. They call the police.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, the incident was terrible. The guy who committed the acts, he's locked up right now. He's gonna face justice. But you can't punish everybody. You know, like I live in Connecticut, Kit, and remember, of course, the Newtown shooting, and then they started coming down on like all gun holders and limiting magazine capacities and everything. And it's kind of like, why are you guys like punishing law-abiding citizens who went through the right channels to get a firearm over one dipshit that did something nutty?
The bad guys, you make the laws. The bad guys have guns illegally already.
Yes.
They're not going to give up their illegal guns.
Right.
If you made a law.
Yes. They're committing crimes.
Why don't you just make murder illegal? Then you're doing it, right?
Hey, look at the whole drug war. Drugs have been illegal forever. They're still around. So there's also people like get rid of guns, and it's like you can't get rid of them. Guns are everywhere.
It's impossible. It's impossible. Guns are without getting too deep into it.
Right.
Are the main reason nobody has ever invaded the USA. Because you have to fight the citizens. We have more guns in the citizenry than any army out there on the planet.
Yeah.
It's just a safe country.
Yeah, we could dive really deep into this, but I'm glad you touched on a couple of things, and I agree with you. And we're just living in a crazy world. And as far as your comments about like there's no real men anymore, it's like people are afraid to speak their mind. They're afraid to be truthful, to say what they really feel inside, because you're gonna get attacked, cancel culture, like all this weird crap going on. Social media is a cesspool. Like there's some positivity, but there's so much toxic bullshit out there. It's crazy.
Adam Hunter Adam Hunter? He's a comedian.
Yes, Adam Hunter. Yep.
Follow that guy on Twitter. He's hilarious. But Adam Hunter said the other day, he tweeted that Dana White said that Abu Dhabi is the fight capital of the world, which is ridiculous. Everybody knows Las Vegas is the fight capital of the world. Right. And then Adam Hunter said, I disagree. I believe Twitter is the fight capital of the world.
That's so true. That's so true. And it's like, Kid, as you know, like if you engage some of these people, like you'll be there all day. You'll be there all day. You have to just like walk away, ignore the idiots, or maybe drop a comment and leave it alone. Say it again, Kid.
If I do it, if I get into a Twitter debate, it's usually out of sheer boredom. I don't even necessarily espouse the ideas that I'm talking about. I just love watching these people get so upset and so involved, and it's a little entertaining.
But and then the algorithms, Kit, like that's what drives the traffic to like these platforms. So it's like they love it when people argue. Like the people who run Twitter and all these social media platforms, they love that shit. So, but.
All about how much time you are spending on the platform.
Yes, like a zombie. Yes, absolutely. Yep. But all right, we'll go back to MMA stuff. Sorry, Kid. Just a couple of more questions. So what's a fun day to Kit cope? Like, what do you do to unwind and relax? And what's fun to you?
Oh wow. I like Manshit.
Okay. Going to the range?
But yeah, go shooting, off-roading, I still love to train.
Yeah.
Currently, it's a little harder because gyms are shut down because you can't exactly social distance
And grapple or strike. Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, I just like. I mean, I like tinkering, working in the garage. Really, all the stuff that I grew up with are still the fun things to me. I grew up spending a lot of time with my dad doing Manshit, learning how to be a man, like learning how to be a responsible, caring, self-reliant, helpful human.
Yep. So safe to say, you know how to change a tire.
I do know how to change.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what like it. I'm looking at myself now. So I just got these shirts in. I just started this brand. I mean, I've been saying it for years and years.
Yeah.
And then I started actually like putting out t-shirts and hats and stuff.
How can you acquire a t-shirt, Kit? That's a pretty badass shirt.
Thank you. Dude, it took me almost 3 years to get the trademark. Because they said so we put in for the trademark for it, and they're like, you can't trademark a curse word. Right? So because of that part, so we had to go back and say, no. It's not Manshit. It's not 2 words. It's Manshit. It's a single word. It's a word that we made up. It doesn't exist in the dictionary. It's ours. And so it took almost 3 years, and they finally gave me the trademark.
That's awesome.
It finalized, and I got my certificate actually in May 5th, I think.
That's cool.
So you can go to manshitbrand.com.
Nice.
We've got some stuff up there now, but in the coming, say, week or 2, there'll be a ton more stuff on there. And it's just, that's all. It's just Manshit. It's just basically, it's like a everybody wants to, make a statement with their apparel, right? Like, so for this is just like, just letting everybody know, like, hey, I'm one of the real ones.
Yep. Manshit. I'm gonna have to get a shirt, Kid, and I'll post it on social media, tag you and stuff like that. Those are cool shirts.
Thank you.
I'll go to the website. There's like a logo on the back too.
There's the logo. I don't know if you see.
Oh, cool. Yep. I see it. The skull with the. Yep. I see a wrench
and an axe.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a nifty hat. Nice, Kid. Kid. So I just have one more question for you. Again, I'm so appreciative. So are you a big fan of anybody out there like competing right now, like whether in MMA or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's weird how like fighters like can't be fans of other fighters.
Yeah.
It's super weird. Like I grew up, or like I came up studying, the fighters that I liked.
Yep.
And that's what made me who I was. And now since then I've fought 2 of my heroes. And beat them, which is cool. But yes, I like obviously Nathan Diaz.
Yep.
Is like my number 1 dude.
Legend.
I really like watching I think his name is like La Pantera. He's the Mexican.
He's a lighter guy, like 145, I think.
Yeah. Super watch.
Yeah. He had
style or anything, but just nutty, and he tries stuff, and he's
Yair Rodriguez.
Yes. Yeah, Yair.
Yep. He's got a Taekwondo background, right? I think.
Something like that. Sure. But he just makes shit up too, obviously.
Yeah.
Super exciting to watch. And then of course, I do actually, I like Shane Burgos.
Yep. Super tough guy.
Hate that guy. I mean, other than the style, right? Great Muay Thai style. really good Muay Thai style. But man, the amount of punches that he took in that last fight, and just whatever, let's keep going.
Yeah,
like fighter for sure. And
he's a beast.
I think he's highly overlooked. You know, and that dude's he's getting better and better.
Yeah, and he looks huge for the division too. He's just a big guy.
Yeah.
All muscle.
If I was to ever fight again, and I'm not saying it wouldn't happen or it would, if I was offered like a really fun fight, I mean, I'm still in shape, you know.
Yeah, you look in great shape. I've
been for Nathan's last 2 fights, you know, I've been his sparring partner. Nice. And, you know, one of the coaches. So, I mean, like, I'm still there.
Yeah.
An exciting fight was to be offered, or like a good money fight, or somebody that I know would actually stand up and you know, and sock gibbers with me. That would be awesome. I would definitely partake.
That'll be cool to see.
Yeah, it's a very slim possibility.
But do you feel like a itch to do it, or you're just saying, like, you know, if a good situation presents itself?
I'll tell you what. I feel an itch to do it. At least a portion out of every day. At least a portion out of every day. I just really want to take a fight. You know, especially like, you know, if we're watching fights or something like that, you know, and then right now, like, I feel especially, well, I'd say mainly in the UFC, mainly, because one is a little different. I feel like their talent pool is a little more consistent. And in the UFC's kind of following the Pride model a little bit, where you've got your really good dudes and just all your feeder fish. You know? And
I see that. Yep.
Yeah. Like, there didn't used to be so many feeder fish in the UFC.
Yeah. And you could clearly see that in the matchmaking sometimes. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. You know, that they want this guy. And it's not necessarily they want to give guys easy fights. Just more like, okay, well, this guy, you know, the feeder fish guy, if he can beat this guy, then sure, we'll let him in.
Yep.
For this guy, okay, if this guy's to move on, you got to be able to annihilate this guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it has this, but it's still kind of,
yeah, it's a distinction there.
Yeah, you can, and it's obvious. That's the problem. The problem is that, you know, that it's just like boxing. You got an A side and a B side.
Yep.
That B side is expected to lose. They're just doing that a little bit more in MMA these days.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get it also in some respects, but, you know, I like balanced fights and stuff like that, you know, because just competitive, good fights.
Yes.
Yeah. But all right, kid. I mean, that was my last question, man. You've been really generous with your time. It's been an honor talking to you. You're super cool, super real. That's not a surprise. But yeah, thank you again. I'll edit this and I'll throw it up, and have a great night. And once again, it's been an honor.
Cool, man. Hey, if you got any more to throw my way, give me a call.
Awesome. Thank you so much, kid.
Right on, dude. And make sure you send me links.
I will. Thank you.
All right, cool, bro.
Have a great night, bro.
All right, latest.